Okay, we're gonna just see how bad these engine mounts are. Start the car. I don't know if you can hear that, but my access key thing is vibrating. You can feel it through your seat. But anyways, engine mounts are gone, and I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight and pick up an engine brace. So I'm gonna try to do this myself. I will say, do not go and buy this engine support bar from Harbor Freight. It is not nearly wide enough to fit the Macan, so I had to return it. Here's the engine mount that I purchased. Not much to say other than they told me it was active, but it was not active engine mounts, or at least I don't think it is. It wasn't plugged into anything. I think it's just oil filled, to be honest. Have to remove all the lower control arms from the subframe, disconnect the steering rack, and remove the steering rack because it's going to get in the way. Here's me disconnecting it. And yes, you do have to hold your steering wheel in place while you disconnect the steering column from the steering rack here. So I put a bungee cord on the steering wheel and just held it there while I disconnected it. Marked it as well just in case it turned on me. I don't think you can make a mistake. It's keyed in, so it can only fit one way, I think. So, but anyways, just for added safety, I marked it as well with a grease pen. You want to be careful removing these connectors as there's a safety lock, number one, so don't force it out. Number two, I don't know for you guys, but in Texas, plastic after a while gets brittle because of the heat here, so you just got to be ginger with it, or else you're going to wreck the connector. I don't remember, but I believe it was about 13mm socket to remove the two bolts that hold the steering rack to the subframe. And here's the steering column to steering rack connection. I think that's a 10 mil. There you undo and it just pops right out. Of course, this job always takes a little bit longer for me as I like to clean as I go. So I'm always washing parts and cleaning it before I put it back in. Here I'm also going to change out the rubber bushings for the sway bar. I'm going to put them together right now. You can see the new one on the right, old one on the left, and see how much it's compressed. So that's going to be changed out too, as well as transmission mount. Going to change that out too since I got the bottom here. So the bolts are 20 Newton meters for torque. So there's six 12 mil Allen key holding this transmission mount in place. I believe it's 40 Newton meters torque spec, and then the mount support bracket that goes over top of that. Those bolts are, I think, 70 Newton meter torque. So yeah, this big support bracket here, 70 Newton meter. If I haven't said it before, you got to remove the trailing arms, the lower control arms, so that you can take this engine support bracket off the engine mounts. That's the only way you're going to get to them. So this is the passenger side, which is the easier side for sure. Clear access to that bolt that holds the mount to the engine mount to the engine block. Here's the engine mount on the passenger side, which was absolutely destroyed. Yeah, not much to say that other than it was sitting on that ledge right here, the engine, and that's where you're getting the vibration. Okay guys, this is the driver's side engine mount, and of all the things, this is probably the toughest one and the trickiest one. Why? Because the turbo is in the way, unlike the passenger side. So you peel this back, and then you gotta use a swivel to get in there and get to it. It's awfully tight. I haven't even tried to break it yet, but I've been assured by other people who've done it that they can, so I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, driver's side isn't as bad as the passenger side, but still really crappy. You certainly see the rips and tears right here as compared to the new one. So you see that. Time for a change. And after you get it in, another surprise to me was the heat shields. They were a tough thing to get back in afterwards and line up. And there's some bolts from the top side of the from the subframe to the heat shields that were blind and was by feel, and struggled with that for a little bit as well. So that sucked.